Yeah, we're recording now. I hear what you're saying about whether it's going to be appropriate to share. We don't have to agree up front to share everything. Certainly, if anything gets said or anything happens during the recording that you know you don't want part of a public recording, let me know right then so I can cut the recording right then, and then we'll start again. And then at the end, if you want to edit it first before we put it out there, that's fine, or review it or whatever. It's totally fine. The thing about, what we're doing, and you mentioned you still have questions and maybe not sure, and that's all part of perfectly what we want to get on camera, honestly, because you're not the only one with those questions and concerns, and it's through answering it to you that we now have content to share out in the world to let others see what the answer is. If we don't create that content, then there's no way to answer that currently on our website or our YouTube channel or anything. So that's why this, we want to be open with everything, because it's all an unfolding, right? So much has evolved since last time we spoke. This whole manifestation process product, so to speak. I mean, you've seen it growing up as you've been in the leadership council meetings about it, but you haven't experienced it like you're going to today. So it's really awesome that we're going to have this experience and get to share it. And that's the thing, is that there's many people in your network and your networks and networks that if they want to see how to use this system and what this system is, that, they would see it through you, and see it through your eyes and want to see it through your eyes and appreciate that whatever you feel good about means something, right? And that's really, and that's how you get to leverage your relationship capital in part. And that's part of what we're going to talk about, because we've been focusing even more and more on that. Before I dive in more, I just want to see if Kat is going to join us now, because I know she had wanted to. So let me see where she's at. Oh, she said, me too, folks. Okay, so she's running a little behind. So let me just let her know we're on. Okay, cool. So I'll wait a couple minutes until Kat gets here before we dive into more of the details. But are there any specific questions that's come up for you already in your mind based on anything you've seen or heard or anything lately?
So I know that you wanted to. What happens after 3 months?
That's a very good question. It's perfect that you asked that. Okay, great. I'm glad Kat is joining us now. Hey, Kat.
Hi.
Hi, Kat.
Hi, Burge.
Great to have you here. So glad that we're getting to connect. I'm so glad and happy that you're joining us, Kat. Thank you so much for
Thank you. Sorry for being late, but until March 11th, I still have a job. So being in integrity, as you mentioned, is so important. I mean, I'm trying to, okay.
Totally understand and appreciate it. And, the thing that I want to say, before we get started, and by the way, Kat, if you're able to put your laptop on a stable place, that'll be great. But because what I want to say is I've so appreciated, as I said in our chat, how much you've kind of taken to Burge, how much you've taken to Burge in Essence of Being, so quickly. So, I really appreciate the resonance and the champion that you're being in the world already. And I think it's a perfect example, especially since you haven't even been through the Essence of Being courses.
I just know it's going to be good. I've seen her videos, I know it's going to be good. Like, I'm graduated Landmark. I love the people. Let's network with the people, but they they're closing some of their centers and they're not doing as much in person. And, it's time to take everything and blend it together.
Well, the thing that you're getting at is that,
and trust me, I'll review the forum as soon as they're in person. I do it like a blood change every 5 years, like for sure. But I want to take in some new stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
I mean, we record these, so I want to make sure, Landmark. Oh my goodness,
Yeah, no, I appreciate what you're saying, because again, if somebody doesn't have any context other than this video,
right?
Kat and I even met in Landmark.
That's right.
And we both have a deep and rooted history in Landmark, and a lot of other common programs like Tony Robbins, and I
Gratitude.
very deeply in gratitude. And, and that's the thing, is that we're swimming in this world with all of these resources, and Burge has been an amazing, one of those champions for all these years that now you're getting introduced to. And I've been fortunate enough to be in the circle of all of the graduates, like some of the others you've mentioned, Kat, that and that you're connected to, and other people that, Burge has like this network, this, this energetic realm, right?
She has a lot of relationship capital, among other things.
Exactly. And that's what we were just, that's what we were just saying, as you were getting on, is that, how, we're going to get into that quite a bit today, is how we leverage the relationship capital. Burge asked a question right before you got on, so I want to make sure I'm noting it in time, and I'll come back to it. And that is what happens after the 3 months. So we'll come back to that in a moment. But I just want to kind of complete this introduction and kind of sharing with each other of, again, what Burge and Essence of Being has meant for me and so many people that I know, and a whole community that I was brought into in the Essence of Being, community. And, already what it's meant for you, Kat, and why you're here, because you're such a champion for both, Essence of Being and Uniting for Action. And you're like, the connective energy in the middle.
I'm loving it.
Right
I'm loving
now.
it. It's actually, what's funny is, since I met you and my life has been in this upward swirl of, guys, it looks like the $1.6 million property is going to close. Like, I'm pinching myself, because then I can go to Italy and get more connected with things and leverage my relationship capital much more effectively. When you're worried about beans and rice and rent, you really can't, you can't be that effective. Like, you can be half-assed effective. So that's going to get all that out of the way. And what it's done for my self-esteem and my relationship with my family, I do believe even my father's going to come around, because I'm speaking his language of business and responsibility now. It's just been so valuable. I acknowledge you both. Just a mini acknowledgement of both of you, because it's good to start something with acknowledgement. And so, Jared, I acknowledge you for having such a big stand that you were willing to look a fool when you started saying, we're going to do this, we're going to work with Fortune 500. And people are like, what? What is this Facebook? What is this? That's what great thinkers do. Everyone mocked the first guy who said they were going to fly an airplane, and everybody. So that's visionary. So you're a visionary, and we're starting to catch your vision. And surprisingly enough, what's happened in the last 4 weeks with the website, the logo you did, the upgrading of things, the processes, and what's happening with the connections we're making, literally you're starting to see the vision for Uniting for Action come together. And I watched some of the old videos of us originally, and I'm like, damn, we're pretty good. Like, we're talking like not so formal, we're friendly, but we're smart, And I was like, this is pretty good. Like, this is enrolling. And then Burge, for you is, I haven't had time to delve into all your videos. All it took for me was to see one where you also, at one point in your life years ago, had financial struggles. You have a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
So single mom kind of thing,
Yeah.
do you know how many single moms I can bring to your thing? Like, just that. Like, I know now marketing and sales, because I've always been a marketing person, but I've always wanted to be a salesperson. This point in my life, they're blending, and I don't know what I can't sell at this point. It's getting kind of silly. It's getting like, what? I'm negotiating a deal down 300,000 because I did the research, and the guy's like, and I just like, is this me? Is this what? And it is me. So Burge, I look forward to doing your coursework. We can talk about the few people offline, what's going on. But as I sat and thought about it, I'd rather pack Fort Lauderdale than have you spread resources into Atlanta. Why? A month before, when everybody from Atlanta can fly down, unless you have some big Atlantic connection. I already started looking at the hotels for the, does Jared know we have dates?
No.
Jared, I will now announce on this video, because now I love that you record everything. I used to find it annoying, but now I'm beginning to see why you do it. The dates for Essence of Being Fort Lauderdale, or maybe I can convince people to come to Miami, but they are September 18. 1920? Well, let me just double check that. I want to make sure I'm accurate. We came up with it because the powers of numbers. My ex-business partner was Jewish, and she taught me the power of 18, and we launched our company on January 18th, 2013, Eye-Opening Marketing. And it's also a denomination that the Jews give as a gift because it's got prosperity. And so, you know, numerology can be fun. 16, 17, 18. Friday, the 16th of September, 17 and 18. And do you do any kind of digital follow-up Tuesday night kind of thing to anchor in? Or have you ever thought of doing that, copying
Yeah, there's a
Landmark?
lot of stuff, but I don't want to take up time
Okay,
to
got
talk
it.
about all of this right now.
Okay.
Because today I want to focus on what we're supposed to be focusing on
Okay.
today. And
Okay.
I don't know what that is exactly yet. I know the manifestation process.
Okay.
There's a lot of things I have to say about everything you just said, and thank you for the acknowledgement. I appreciate that. And there's a lot of things that I know gratitude. I mean, I know I've been around a long time. So, I mean, I was like the only thing on the block other than Landmark for the longest time, and or Forum or what or Est.
Oh yeah,
Where it came
exactly.
from. So, I mean, yeah. And so I have a lot of things to say about all of that, but
you just
and
don't want to go there right
I
now.
could talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that
No, we could talk
forever.
for hours. I mean, all of us could talk for hours, but we need to get in action. So yes, Jared, we'll hand it back to you in your capable hands here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's awesome. So what we're going to get into today, Burge, as you know, so I just want to be clear again, I got what you've seen, what you haven't seen, because I don't want to repeat anything you've seen. So none of the videos or the links that I sent you since
As
the
far
last.
as manifestation process, no.
Okay, no worries.
I've been broadcasting nonstop, so I'm just.
That's perfect. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the brand new evolution of the manifestation process worksheet. So
Okay.
when you last saw it and when I last sent it to you, I don't know, maybe it was like 3 weeks ago, the worksheet was a multi-page document that had a lot of different questions and a lot of different ways to fill out the manifestation process. And now what I've done is I've narrowed it down to a one-page worksheet to make it really, really clear and simple for people how to work the worksheet, basically. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with a mind map. I just need to check what Kat's message is.
It's kind of net new. Like this just happened on my phone, a request for a meeting, which has me think I better they've just put some monitoring software on my computer this morning.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's a big company, they have remote people. They're going to, use their technology to make sure things are happening. So.
Okay. So you're with us until 10:30. Is that
correct?
Okay. Got it. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, great. So let me share this one-page document, and what we're going to do, so you know, Burge, because this is also new since we last connected, is we're going to do a mind map with you today. So the mind map, I'm going to show you the example, but this, first of all, is the worksheet. So let's just review the worksheet, and then you'll understand the context of what we're creating with this, and then you can let me know what questions you have about this. So the manifestation process, really straightforward to go from saying what you want to getting what you want. And so the first thing that we're doing to do that is identify what's needed. So we call them facilitators at this point, and we're still maybe playing with that word, but identify the facilitators you need to work with or coordinate with in order for your vision to be manifested into reality. So you're going to declare what your vision is, whatever that vision. You can make it very specific or very broad. Then you're going to figure out, the facilitator types. So one type could be like a marketer or a social media person or a website designer or a video editor, or all the different pieces that you need to have in order for the vision to be executed. So are you getting that definition? Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, so then in addition to the facilitators that you need, and again, keep in mind, you're defining the ones that are necessary to achieve the vision, which means that if you don't have any one facilitator type covered, like if you don't have an agreement with somebody in that type, then you don't actually have a complete solution. So that's part of what we're really making clear to people is if you've got 5 different categories needed and you've got 4 of them covered, you don't have a solution yet. You have a wish for a solution still. So really that's the reality, that we're creating for people around this. So the second thing is to identify the referrers that can help you recruit the facilitators. So again, people that friends, whoever, and soon it'll be your whole network that can refer any of these facilitators to them. And then lastly, identify the analysts that can help you identify and qualify the facilitators you seek. So again, analysts could be, your brother-in-law that does web design. He's not going to do your website, but he can tell you what the budget should be, and he can tell you what you should ask about, and the people that can give you the details that you need in order to qualify who you get as your facilitators.
I have a question. What's the difference between an analyst and
the facilitator?
Yeah.
So they could functionally do the same work. The facilitator is the one that's actually a part of your solution. That's one of the ones that are going to actually manifest your vision.
The implementers. Are you talking about the implementers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
an analyst is what? Strategy?
Could be. Just they're not going to be a part of what needs to get done to implement the vision, but they can give you information that can help you, get it done.
I would call it a non-enrolling person who provides background research that facilitates the smooth marketing and sales of an idea or a service.
Or a board of advisors, kind of their advisors?
It could be. Yeah, exactly. So advisors fall into the analyst category where they're not going to be part of the solution, but they can help you, see how to put it together. Yeah,
Okay.
Clarify it for you. Exactly. So great. So those are the three different entities that you're, seeking in this model. And then what you're doing for every single one is you're seeing what incentive or package of incentives, and again, in typical business, this would be, a vendor that you would hire for some certain budget, right? So that's like what it traditionally looks like. But we're making it a little more general where you could have some package of incentives that could be trade or could be this or could be that, right? And could be cash as well, whatever. So your incentives that you're offering to each of these facilitators basically is, let me just keep reading and then you'll get it. So by definition, in order to achieve your vision, you need each of the facilitators you've identified to play their role in the manifestation of your vision. Until you have lockdown agreements with every facilitator type you've identified that's necessary to achieve your vision is a pipe dream. If you want your vision to be alive in the world, your starting point is by having agreements in place with all the facilitators necessary to achieve your vision. Only then can you execute your plan with those facilitators. So it's pretty much what I said. Is that all right, clear? So that's how we're communicating it to people. So here's your opportunity to increase your closing percentage, because basically you have offers out to all of these, let's call them different prospect groups. Well, let me put it this way. Each type of facilitator you identify is a prospect group for you. There are a certain number of prospects in that group that you need to sell on your incentive package in order for them to agree to play the role that you seek for them in your vision. Does that make sense?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, I want to make sure that's really clear because this is a brand new concept to everybody. I haven't communicated this before. But basically, facilitator type 1, that's client type 1. Facilitator type 2, client type 2. Referrer type 1, client type 3. You have all these different types of clients and you're trying to sell each client type on that particular incentive package for them to become essentially a client of yours, whether being a client it becomes a referrer or being a client becomes a facilitator. Does that make sense? We're breaking it down into like a sales process.
I see. Got it.
So with every one of them being like a type of sale that you need to make, then the number of prospects that you need to present your offer to in order to secure an agreement is known in sales as your closing percentage, right? Really clear sales, process. So if you secure 2 agreements for every 10 conversations, then you're closing for 20%. So knowing that, you can calculate how many prospects you need to present to in order to secure the number of agreements you require.
So let me be clear. This is not selling for like people that are prospects to buy products and services that I have. This is something other than that.
No, it can be that because it depends on what your vision is, right? So if your vision is to, fill up a Fort Lauderdale workshop, and that's your vision, then for sure, one of the facilitator types is going to be like attendees, right? That's one of the facilitator types that you need in order to fulfill your vision, right? You need production, you need attendees, you need all the different parts that end up creating this, right? So you can put attendees into your vision and what your incentive is that you're offering to attendees, and and that could be a part of your process of how you're doing it. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. So we're talking, because I'm looking at it from a macro point of view, and you're and then that particular vision would be a micro for a specific outcome for one particular workshop.
Exactly. So you can use this process depending upon how big or how small your vision is. It'll accommodate any size vision. So but again, when you talk about like clients for workshops and clients for webinars and all of that, they can definitely be a part of, they show up on the map depending upon if the vision involves them. If the vision involves them, then yes, they have to be somewhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just trying to focus where, because
and that we're not going to have you focus yet, because we're going to do the mind map process, and that's going to inform us on where we're going to focus the rest of the process. Okay. So this is just giving you the context up to
I'm just letting you know, when I've done these types of strategies and having these processes and different, I've done so many different ways of doing this in the iterations, right? That the biggest challenge for me has always been, I do too much. And I have so many things that I am involved in, and offerings and visions and creations. And I have so many avatars and so many markets. And so, it's so huge, and each one can go, I can drill down very, and I'm a Gemini. So I've got my hands in everything. And so
I totally get that. So I totally get that it's going to be a challenge to have any kind of mind map for you within any kind of period of time. And what we're going to do is we're going to take whatever period of time we have. We're going to do a top level mind map with, let's say, maybe 50% of that time. And then we're going to choose of your top level what you want to drill down to spend maybe 50% of our time on a specific thing that you really want to focus on.
Thank you for that structure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great. Okay, so knowing what your closing percentage is, then it allows you to calculate the number of prospects that you need to have your offer in front of in order to secure the number of agreements you require. So again, Burge, you can kind of get a sense that really this whole process is really almost like challenging everybody with all the visions that everybody has in their head, because we all have all of these idealized visions of what we could accomplish in the world, right? What we would accomplish in the world. But what we're doing here is we're creating such a reality check that, like, okay, if you have this vision and you want to declare that you're going to create it, then here's all the actual, facilitator types that you need to get on board with that. And you have to go out and make agreements with every single one of them. And until you do that, you're not even on the, ball field yet, right? So it's really going ahead and having people choose what they're willing to give their word to, because like, okay, so this is what it's going to take. Okay, I need to narrow this down, like you're saying, to something that I'm willing to say I'm going to do. And then in that context, there are two direct ways that you can increase your closing percentage. So this is really important in terms of the numbers, is increasing how inspired a prospective facilitator is to work on your vision. And that reduces the burden on incentives, and increasing the incentives you're offering to prospective facilitators, which reduces the burden on inspiration. So this is like a core concept that I know you haven't, we mentioned a little bit last time, but really went into this time. So I'm going to really explain this a little bit more. Kat, you want to say
guys,
something?
yeah, I just want to say the mind mapping helped me really see that I could do more with less. And I'm a visual person, so just having the mind map, I think it's clever that you leave it on the site, but I would like a PDF because I've been doing so much for you. So like, it helped me, like, okay, this is my life. This is what's important to me. And just seeing it visually, because I'm sick of Excels and Word docs and things like that. I like the more open flow, this is what I'm up to thing. So that's my request. So
yeah, totally. Please send me a message on WhatsApp.
Okay.
about that, Kat.
All right.
I know you mentioned it before, and I want to get that to you. So for sure.
Okay, thanks, guys. I gotta
Thank
go.
you,
Enjoy
Kat.
Burge. It's really cool. I mean, it seems so ridiculously simple. Like, what's the value? But I'm guaranteeing value right now. Just enjoy.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Thanks,
Kat.
Kat.
Because I'm like you. Do you think I'm taking out a little bit much? Okay, peace. Bye.
Thank you, Kat.
Bye.
See you. Okay, great. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Let me dive right back into this. Any questions while I'm coming back into this?
No.
Okay, cool. Okay, so again, this is a really new concept that I've been sharing with everybody. It's the combination between incentives and inspiration, right? So basically, you know, in sales and rolling, whatever it is, you can increase how inspired a prospective, whoever it is, to work on your vision, and that reduces the burden on incentives, or you can increase the incentives and that reduces the burden on inspiration, right? That's
Got it.
something
I
we're
got
all,
it.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
continuum. So reach more prospects. There's one direct way you can increase the number of prospects you reach with your offer, and that's that you can inspire / incentivize referrers to refer the facilitators you seek. So again, this is a core concept that we're working with. You've got right now, if you blast things out on your own social media, you're reaching your network, but it won't go beyond your network unless those people that receive it are somehow inspired enough and or incentivized enough to blast it out to their network, right? So
It's
really,
called leverage.
exactly. So that's what you're focusing on in this, you know, mechanism is how can you increase your inspiration and how can you increase your incentive? There's two direct ways you can increase your referrals, and that's how much you inspire them and how much you incentivize it. So that again is kind of like the framework of all of this. And we're creating a whole new, and I don't even have a diagram to show you. That's what I'm going to be working on today. But I've realized and even had an epiphany about it this morning that the referral system that we've been working on is like the key to unlocking all of this, because it actually directly monetizes everyone's relationship capital. And then everybody has so much more capital to work with within the system. So I'll explain all that afterwards, but let's dive right into your mind map and let's start like putting it out there. And I'll show you very quickly, you know, some of the others for comparison, so you can just get a quick idea of like what it's been looking like. So here's cats, for example. Are you able to see that?
Yep.
Okay, great. And let me show you another one.
Oh, you've been busy.
Yep. And actually, I'm going to show you. So this is one that this is for a specific event that Diane is putting together, and she came up with that as an example for the event. You know, management, venue, production, sponsorship, artists. So again, it gives you a range, and then I'm going to show you the page of where we've. So Electric Token is the one that is the main model for. So this is the first business client that we've had. So they hired us to do this process for them. So they're an NFT company, and they're working digital hub, leveling up the NFT metaverses while bridging the digital divide. We publish and curate unique NFT experiences, amplifying BIPOC creators. So that's who they are. And so I had a meeting with David, and just to show you like what this ends up looking like, because this is where the mind map and the whole process leads to. So I'm just showing you really quickly, like we start with the mind map, but this is what it ends up leading to as an output. And so what it ends up leading to, in this case, everybody gets their own playlist. So these are all of the clips that I've taken out of the whole conversation, you know, a 2-minute clip, a 5-minute clip that you'll see on the page here. So this is the intro to Electric Token, which is a minute and 7 seconds. So again, he and I had a 56-minute session like you and I are about to have. From that 56-minute session, here's the intro that came out of that. And then here's the mind map, you know, that we created during that session. And then from that, here's all the sections of content that I pulled out of our conversation. So how they're serving their clients is something that I pulled out of there, and the different solutions that they're providing. So I found the edit of that clip, this, in this case, this is a 1 minute and 57-second clip from our 56-minute meeting. And then here's where he's talking about producing Web3 solutions, right? And then here's where they're talking about seeking production support and the type of production support that they're looking for, and working with influencers. And then this is where we've broken it down into what I was just showing you. So here's the providers that they're seeking in this realm of production support, right? So again, this category, production support, here's what we're seeking. In this case, it's actually multiple. Usually it would just be one, but he had so many. We need coders, website builders, smart contract writers, etc. So we just kind of grouped them for the moment. We're seeking this, and here's what we're offering. Here's our package. We can offer these sorts of things in exchange for this. And one of the main things that they can offer is they're working with celebrities and they're working with athletes. So again, any company that wants to have a portfolio piece that's featuring like a celebrity or an athlete, and we'd be willing to, provide their services in order to do that, there's a potential marriage here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they may not even have to pay those companies in order to work with them. Again, these are the incentives they're offering. Okay, so if you're interested, get in touch. At the moment, this sends them right to their website, just because I haven't built the back end yet. But what I'm about to build is this actually lets them submit into a form, and this automated system that's keeping track of all of the essentially job applicants for all of the job postings is kind of a way that you could look at it. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
And then here's the other part where, okay, so earn for referrals. Hey, if you're somebody that can send us one of these, here's all of the incentives that we can offer to you, right? And then go ahead and refer somebody. And then when they click on refer somebody, again, at the moment, it just sends them to their website. But what I'm about to build is when you click on refer somebody, then it says, you send a message through the system to Electric Token. Hey, I have a prospective referral for you. They say, here's what we're willing to offer in exchange. There's a negotiation if there needs to be, and then an agreement is made. And we're providing the agreement system so that they can just work off of the template. The template that we're using is a 10% referral commission to anybody that's creating a referral, and then 2% to the person that brought in that person making the connection, 1% for the person the next level up, and 2% to Uniting for Action to build out the whole system. So it's 15%, and we're asking everybody that's using the system to keep that in mind when they're doing their pricing or whatever, so they can build that into their cost of doing business in the platform. 15% will go to these commissions, that will be paid to everybody. And as everybody does all of this business, what's happening, as you can start to see, is that in this system that everyone's saying what they need and knowing what their friends need, what everybody in their network, the revolution that this brings is that you and everyone else that's using this are now plastering all of your needs out there for everyone to see. Hey, everyone, I need all of these needs in this project. I need all of these needs in this project. I need all of these needs in this project. Who can bring me these needs? And we've never been operating in a society where everyone's listing all of their needs for everyone else to see and be incentivized by all of these offers, right? Really, everyone, we all have very limited time and attention, right? Of the people that you're going to connect, you have to get the maximum payoff, basically, of your time and your energy to make connections. So this is the system that's going to be inundating you essentially with offers. You're going to have a filtering system that the offers that are going to get through to you are the combination of the ones that most inspire you and the ones that are most incentivized for you.
Two questions. 15% commissions from, tell me again how that's broken down.
Yeah, absolutely. So 10% goes to the person that's making the connection. So again, let's say Kat is bringing you this person and bringing you this person, bringing you this person, then Kat would get 10% of all of those people that she's bringing. And then the person that signed up Kat into the system would get 2% of that, because that's the incentive for signing people up, is you're going to get 2% of all the business that they do. And then the person that signed that person up gets 1%. And then this again is where, somebody like you, for example, that's connected with so many people that have networks, when that person, when you talk to, let's say Deepak Chopra, and you say, hey, Deepak, I've got this great thing for you. And Deepak signs up, right? And now Deepak is signing all of his members up. And when his members sign up, when they connect with each other, they're doing 10, who's ever connecting them are doing 10%. But Deepak is getting 2% just for having, them sign up. And you're getting 1% just for having signed Deepak up. So that's why we're using that leverage that, Deepak, Esther, all of these people that when you sign them up, you're actually getting 1% of all the business that's happening in their network. Now you're super incentivized to sign up all those networks, right?
And
so
the 2% goes to United for Action.
2% goes to Uniting for Action to build out all the system and build out all the capabilities, because we're still at the very, very beginning of the process of making this all.
And United for Action is you.
Uniting
for Action is for you, is you and who?
Yeah, me and everybody that we can bring in as quickly as we can. I'm the only paid employee of Uniting for Action right now, and clearly we need to have a massive force. So, that's why we have to build this out as quickly as possible.
So it's somewhat of a kind of a network marketing somewhat aspect of commissions, but it only goes up 2 levels.
At the moment, this is what it seems like is the right structure to start with. And like you're saying, we're building in those types of incentives because it's a good way systematically to incentivize the types of behavior that, benefits everybody.
Sure.
So,
I'm just grokking it. So it's like basically it's like 2 levels.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's as far as it goes.
I'm open to it evolving. This is just a starting point of the solution. But at the moment, it seems like if you have a better structure, I'm open to looking at all structures.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, it's as far as I've taken it in my mind, but I'm open to.
I think that's good because you don't want, clearly there's more to be made, but then you start competing with or bumping up against energetically all that MLM, stuff. So 15%. You have to build into your pricing for whatever it is. Or if you're looking for people to implement, you have to build in the 15% there too. Like if I'm going to hire somebody to do something, you're saying if I'm going to hire them for $100 an hour, I need to add 15% to that.
They're adding it already. So you're not adding, but they're adding it because they're in the system and they're the ones receiving the money. The ones receiving the money is the one that's paying out the commission. So when you're hiring them, you're paying them $100, and they already know that they're giving out $15 of that to whoever brought them in. So everybody, yeah.
Okay. So when I'm hiring them, they pay it.
Yeah, the person receiving the money is the one that's giving out the money. It's as simple as that.
Okay. The other question I have is, who's seeing all of this wonderful stuff? How is that getting out? Like everything you just showed me looks great. I see the output. I understand that. So
that's
how does
exactly
that get out there?
That's exactly why we're recording this. You got it exactly, because these sessions are making up the tutorial videos, and these sessions are making up the do-it-yourself version. So we're creating a self-serve version so that anybody can show up at the page and just have access to the mind map tools, have access to the worksheet, and just start doing it for themselves, by themselves. What we're doing is then we're also providing full service models, because it takes quite a bit of work to do what I just showed you. My full service model essentially at this moment, and again, this is a way reduced rate that I have to pull myself away from soon. But what you just saw with electric, I didn't take you down the full page, but the full page is like $1,000 package right now, basically, again. And that's from me doing it. I'm going to start to train interns, other workers, so that there will be a lower cost of doing the same kind. I'm systematizing as much as possible. It'll get to be where you could hire an intern and have them do the tutorial and then, do it, for you. It's over time, it'll be reputation scores, all of that. But anyways, at the moment, what it is we are providing self-service to everybody. We're building out the full service model as quickly as we can, because there's a lot of people that can benefit from going through a rapid process of this. And, so that's where we're at.
But I'm saying Uniting for Action, where you see all of this, is that right? That's the house that holds all of this. So how is that getting out? Is that just because we're members and we're getting it out and that's who will see it basically? Or are
Yeah.
we doing marketing? How does that work for people to see outside of our, I'm just curious who's going to see it, other than the people that we bring in to say, hey, check this out.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we need. That's all we need, because we have the viral engine in place. The amount of value that's there for the amount of value that we're asking for, since people can use it for free, is it's enough to go viral. The reason that we're not stoking the viral fire right now is because we don't have the infrastructure built out yet, and we need a little bit of time still to get our feet under us. So we're intentionally not like, throwing all the gasoline on it. However, there's no reason that you personally can't start sharing this with your own network and start to have, dozens and hundreds of people signing up and starting to do it themselves. And even amongst themselves, just starting to share business with each other. You have such a community that is so incentivized to share business with each other and support each other. But the challenge is that in our current world, the cost of something potentially going wrong between two people, where it could like create some kind of future tension between you and either of those people, is actually greater for most people than the benefit of potentially connecting them. So that we're withholding so many connections that could be happening in our world, but we don't yet know, we're not confident enough to just connect, and we don't get enough incentive to be able to do it. So this actually incentivizes everybody to connect everybody. So it's really it'll go viral as fast as the system will support it. And what I'm about to do is create it so that anybody can sign up. It's funny because, this is a perfect, way of looking at it. I'm about $1,000 at the moment away from having enough time to be able to launch the part I'm about to share with you, which is going to be made up of the conversations I have with the next few people, however much, however those finances come together. This people will be able to sign up on the site, get a user login where they have a profile page. On that profile page, they can go ahead and use the system to specify, the provider they're looking for, the incentives that they're offering, and the referral percentage or incentive that they're offering. And then those different buttons that I showed you of interest will be able to work. And then it'll be able to track when transactions happen. And it'll, of course, it's going to be up to the person that's actually receiving the money to then send the money, send the 10% here and the 2%. But everyone's incentivized to do that, because when we do that, then we get more of what we're looking for.
Yeah, that was my question. Is all that structure, is any of that structure in place as far as who gets what and how it gets there and automated?
It's really funny because, to be honest with you, I programmed something that did that back in 2012, I think it was. So I have to, dust off that code as the foundation for this system right now. That's why I was saying, like, right now I'm in like a mode. I've been in this mode of like just getting enough, business and finances to be able to make it like a couple days. And I haven't had the like 4 or 5 days I need to sit down to program this system that I'm describing to you. So that's why I'm saying it's going to be about like whenever $1,000 comes in, that I can go ahead and say, okay, now we can have this system and we can launch it. And that's where more and more we're getting closer and closer to where it's not like $1,000 for this piece. It's like $10,000 for this piece and $100,000 for this piece. And me having those types of conversations with people that can actually do those types of things, for them to be known in the world as the person that helped build out, this system, because here it is in our video and here they are giving the money and here it is us building it into the world. And so this is where we're starting to go with Uniting for Action. Is it's almost like we're building it grant by grant, we're building it sponsor by sponsor, we're building it, entity by entity that wants to see this leap forward into the world and will say, hey, I will give this to allow this to happen in the world. So thankfully, we're starting to make it much more tangible, as you can see, and much more, incentivized for everybody to have just this system alone, right? So you can imagine literally, you, the next person, whoever provides this money today, tomorrow, we could have this system next week that we're all using just on the referral part. So again, that referral part of the system can be working. Now, the next part that I'm going to build out is where this is all automated, this page building part, so that you can actually just go in, upload your video, and then you can have like a very simple editing system where basically you say, title of this section is seeking production support, and then title over here is producing Web3 solutions, and then you paste this text and you paste this YouTube link, and now you're building pages on the Uniting for Action website through the interface. So that's the next piece. That'll be maybe again another $1,000 or $2,000 or something like that to build that part out. And then the next part after that is actually the automation of this mind map, so that you can actually build the mind map and put the title here and put the title here, and that the actual page gets built automatically from the mind map. And now all you have to do is fill in the page because you actually put all these things on the mind map, right? So again, it's getting more and more sophisticated, more and more automated, and you can see exactly where we're at right now and where we're going to make it like mass easy for everyone to do everything, because the more that everyone maps out their visions, knows what their needs are, and puts it out there for people to see, the more we can all support each other in getting what we need to accomplish all of our visions.
Can I see, I mean, is that, if I go to Uniting for Action, am I able to see all that?
Which part?
What you just showed me, for instance?
Yeah, this page, this is live.
Okay.
This page, this electric token page is live. Let me put it into the chat for you. So yeah, this is on our website, and there's a couple other pages. I'll show you very quickly. Like,
that's fine. Just if I go there, I can see what they have. Okay.
Yeah. So let's get into your mind map and tell me how much time you have so I can plan for how deep we should go into these different parts of the mind map.
So till 11:30.
Okay. Any questions about anything I said?
What happens after 300?
What happens after 300? Thank you. Thank you for asking that again. Hold on one second. Okay, so before I answer the question about what happens after 3 months, can I get any kind of comments or feedback from you about everything that you've seen and what you think about what I shared?
It's a lot. It's a very massive vision. It's a bodacious, excuse me, concept. And each time we go into it and we talk through it, and it seems that it's very value add. And I think, once all of the solutions are in, or the structure is in place as well, the more automated, the better. Personally, for me, I'm not interested in doing it. I'm not interested in doing them. I can see how it would be really value add for people to do it themselves, to have it as a self-serving, or whatever you call it, where they do it themselves. So that's not me. I'm more like, I need implementers to do all of that. And what you're doing with me now is very value add and key for me. And that's how I operate. And then if they show it to me and then I can tweak it, that's how I operate. But I know there's a lot of people that are younger that get off on doing it themselves, or so that might be a judgment. But like I said, I'm at the place in my life where, I've been putting it out so much, so it's like, I'm just ready to let it kind of flow and not put so much energy into putting everything in my life out there as much. This is a really great platform, I think, to be able to allow things to manifest in a way that is, I'm all about leverage. And this is a big, huge leverage piece, I think, that would work.
Awesome. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Okay, great. So So, okay, let me now answer your question and then we'll go into the mind map. So to answer your question, what happens after 3 months? I'm still not totally clear. I'm still having like debates with myself because the main debate I'm having is,
How's it going with your debates?
that's the thing. I'm giving you today's version. It changes every day. That's the thing. So I haven't declared what's going to happen. It's at the end of March is the end of the 3 months for the first cycle of people like yourself. So, one possibility is that we continue on with the leadership council with some new people coming on and some of the current people dropping off. So that's some, potential that we have some kind of continuum that looks kind of similar to where we've been, all the way to the other extreme, and it could be anything in between, but the other extreme is that we don't continue a leadership council at the moment, and I keep focusing on other things and use the attention I've been putting on the leadership council to more develop the product and do other things that need to get done. So I'm debating with myself whether the overhead involved of the leadership council is providing the necessary, or best benefits. So I'm still figuring out, leveraging for what's there. But I think, again, there's going to be a lot of leveraging developed this month. There's going to be a lot of revenue coming in and supporters and a lot of different other support that we haven't had yet because everything is getting so clear and so specific and all of that. So I think that, again, let's keep letting it unfold over the next couple of weeks before, I come to some kind of conclusion around that. I think
and I feel like what would be best is when you talk about leadership council, it's like, again, we were talking last time about the benefit of coming to those meetings and the council, like what are we counseling, and what is it that we're wanting to, is it just more of enrolling people in the vision of what this is going to be or look like? And if that's, the objective of the council, or if it's, if we all focus on, just getting more people to come to this program. Is it more of a program? Is it more of a platform? Is it more of those types of incentives to keep it, to just expand it? And, that would be the question as to what the council really is needed for, because what you're doing is like, I can see that you can be so spread thin. So yeah, all of that, membership, organization, solutions, and support. Yeah. So, I'm with you on that. I'm not clear.
I'm bringing this up because I went into what you're talking about in a lot of depth at this last leadership council meeting. And this is a graphic that I created over the weekend, which really helped me crystallize what Uniting for Action is all about and where it stands right now. So Uniting for Action is a membership organization of the people who want to work together to create results, right? And what Uniting for Action provides is Uniting for Action provides solutions. We provide systems and solutions that allow us to work together more effectively and efficiently. That's everything we've been talking about, right? All the solutions that I've been bringing. And then the support also, we provide access to tools and providers committed to optimizing our results. So that's you, and that's all of the people that are showing up to support people. Because what I've been getting more and more clear as I've been seeing it for myself, and I've been seeing it for everyone else, is it's not just the presence of the solutions that's necessary for people. Everyone's bumping up against whatever their obstacles and challenges are and whatever holds them back. So really, the tools in their hands don't necessarily provide the solution for them, right? The solution for them in many ways could be, how do I overcome my procrastination or my overwhelm or my money issues or my relationship issues or my whatever, right? So that's where really what we're doing in terms of positioning Uniting for Action, first of all, is that we're not just about the solutions, we're actually equally about the support, because without the support, we're not going to have the solutions work. So it's these two arms, that are coming together in support of the members. Both the solutions are being provided and the life support is being provided for them to operate at humans at their most optimum level. And that's where, again, I want to have our conversation keep flowing towards how you want to be featured, how you want to be in that whole section where you want to be, because that's where we're going to, again, be putting a lot of attention. But let's pull that back now to the mind map and start there, because now you can see as an organization, what is the leader, to answer very quickly, what's the role of the Leadership Council organization? The Leadership Council is basically in alignment with this coming into the world. Like, we all want this to get created, co-created together. And so this is what the leaders are leading into the world. And each of them are leading it in a different way, right? Not all of them have the network that you have. So you're leading it like in a network way, right? Other people are leading it in a consultative way, or in a specific solutions, or whatever it might look like, right? So again, we're all have what the role is that we have to play in this coming into the world, right? So let's go ahead and start your mind map. And any other questions or comments?
Nope.
Okay, so where do we begin?
I know, right? Well, I was looking at the way that you had set it up for facilitator, referrals, analyst, and I guess the types of here's where I'm at with, I've got four major focuses, okay, and businesses in this realm. I have other businesses that have nothing to do with this, but let's just focus on this. So I've got Essence of Being, I've got the Healing Forest Foundation, I've got the Conscious Leadership Academy, and then I've got Shamanasta, and that's Shamanasta is SHAMANASTE. Yeah. So those are the four major categories or focuses or offshoots of the mind map of what I'm doing in this particular realm, I guess, if I had to narrow it down to those four. And within those four, of course, with Essence of Being, there's a shit ton of stuff.
The distinguishing factor, I would say for the moment is, where you want to create immediate short-term results. So again, we can do a little bit more mind mapping around the other parts, but again, the where we're going to create results is where we're going to put our attention. So where do you really want to create results? So I know where we're going to end up on this mind map, and then we can kind of fill in.
It's really hard for me to, so
and by the way, I should say it should be tied to revenue. Whatever results you want to create in this case should be tied to revenue, because we want to create a positive feedback cycle of revenue.
Right. The Healing Forest Foundation is my nonprofit. So that is more of, it's revenue producing, but it's not, it all goes out, it doesn't come to me. So that is my revenue. So I built schools and blah. Now, the Conscious Leadership Academy produces revenue. It's underneath the umbrella of the Essence of Being, but it's big enough and it's broad enough to have its own category, because it's a whole nother piece that is that can be separated from Essence of Being. But Essence of Being produces the Conscious Leadership Academy, so it's within that umbrella. But of course, Essence of Being and Conscious Leadership are producing, for sure, revenue producing, and Shamanasta is too. And so my focus for this year was to back off of doing a lot of Essence of Being type. Again, I have 25 workshops, right? And then I have another 15 online, and then I have live, and I have online, and I have a combo and hybrids, and different focuses and different markets and different countries and different affiliates and advisors and facilitators and coaches and all of these things I have going on. But Shamanasta is where I wanted to sort of focus, building more of, because it's been more of a secret agent. I've been more of a secret agent with that kind of thing. And I was thinking, that I wanted to build that out more so that all this other stuff that I have that's on its own, I want it to work without me. I want it to build so that continue to build so that it doesn't need so much of my time and attention, because wherever my attention goes, that's what I create. So my focus has been scattered for the last 30 years or 40 years of doing this because I do so many things with it. So that's kind of just as a throwing up blah. That's what my focus was going to be for this year with Shamanasta. Well, in the meantime, I have other affiliates that have come into play for producing Essence of Being and working with Conscious Leadership Academy. So, you know, I'm just kind of following the energy right now. I'm not pushing or directing or as much as I normally have. And so that's kind of where my little trepidation is about which one do I focus on as far as this is concerned with the mind map, because my initial intention this year was to really put out Shamanasta. And then in the meantime, all the other things I have going on is still happening. But the part that's confusing to me is without Essence of Being, without Conscious Leadership, my private, because I do private coaching as well, I do session work and that kind of thing. Without that, you know, I don't have the private sessions that come in, which is what I wanted to focus more on too, is doing more of that where I can do Shamanasta in private sessions. So
I got it. Thank you for sharing all of that. I appreciate the context. And I think that, you know, I have some clear ideas from my perspective. So I'll just share with you, you know, what's there for me as you're saying everything is I think that I see the desire and the desire of where you'd like the energy to be. And what I think, again, from my perspective, is I think that there's going to be an evolution of how you package and share and communicate your programs within this new paradigm of world that I'm sharing with you. And that there's going to be some level of attention required to kind of maximize the opportunity in this world, to kind of have, you know, certain little video clips here and there that, you know, allow you to essentially monetize, you know, all that you've already done, all of the programs that you've already put together in a way that is really on a much more massive scale than, you know, I think what you're imagining right now. Right now, you're imagining that how you build out, you know, Shamanasta will, you know, will be the top of your sales funnel for, you know, everything you're doing. And we're not going to stop that. So you can count on that as a starting point. You're going to have that. You're going to build out Shamanasta, and Shamanasta is going to be pouring more and more prospects into the top of your sales funnel for Essence of Being and for the Conscious Leadership Academy. So that's, I think, you know, what you're already seeing, right, as a structure of how the energy flows. People find out about you through Shamanasta, and then no.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. To pinpoint this is a challenge because the avatars are different, Jared. It's like people that are interested in channeling and Shamanasta and that kind of thing. It's a whole esoteric spiritual realm, which is definitely increased for sure. You know, thank goodness, because of law of attraction and Esther and a lot of other people have been out there. And I've been doing it too, but kind of like behind the scenes, you know, with my higher vibes classes and like
Right.
those types of things. But
Which I
most people,
Which I experience, I know.
Yeah. So most people, so you've experienced Shamanasta because I always channel in that. But see, I'm doing group channeling now twice a month as a group channeling. I offer that twice a month and then bonuses, and I have a whole nother. You know, there's those types of people, and then Conscious Leadership Academy attracts a different type, perhaps, of market, and Essence of Being attracts perhaps a different market. Sometimes they merge, so it's just different markets and different. That's within Conscious Leadership Academy. I've got the essence of abundance, the essence of relationships, the essence of communication, the essence of leadership, the essence of success, and the essence of being. And then, of course, through that, it's online and in person. And because of COVID, I had to make them all virtual, not in person anymore. But I'm, of course, essence of being, I have to do in person. And then I've got the trifecta that I've always had, which is essence of being, passionate, and mastery. And that's the course trajectory of that. So I've added so much online, 48 weeks of online content. And then I've got the higher vibes. I've got the kids classes. I've got my tier 2 of conscious leadership, which is facilitation classes, coaching. I've got a whole coach. I certify coaches now. We have EOB certified coaches and facilitators and teacher training, getting other people to teach what I do and expanding it that way. And then I have all these affiliates that I haven't tapped into as much as I'd like, with affiliates leveraging, and I've incentivized them through a lot of different ways to do that. But I do have coaches, I have facilitators, I have affiliates, I have advisors, I have partners, and I have all these markets to tap into. So people find me because I've done Essence of Being for so long. I mean, the question is, and I do so many summits, and I do all of these broadcasts, and I have podcasts, and I have all these things out there, right? And I have a YouTube and all this stuff that's out there. So they find me different ways. They come in from so many different ways and so many different focuses of what they're looking for. So to say that they normally come in and find me, I think you said, as shamanasta, no, not necessarily.
I got you. That's perfect. Thank you for sharing all that. It's really, really great. So, and it's great that you just did all of that, because in my head, as you were doing it, I was mind mapping it. And so we actually, I can do it later, potentially. Again, this is where, again, you'll have the video, and now you get to decide, how valuable is it to me to do something with this video. That's basically where we're going, and teaching people is, what's the value to you in processing this and getting it to, down to whatever, down to very specifics of you defining what each one of those avatars are that show up to each one of the different things. Like the way that you just mapped it all out is each one of those are the ends of the nodes of the mind map. And then at the end of that node, then you get to have a specific incentive for that particular entity, right? So like, hey, I'm speaking to you, you want this, here I'm offering this, and do you want it? And if you want it, let's create an agreement, and then we do business together. And that's basically, again, systematizing it over and over and over and over again. So in this system, again, what it looks like is, it looks like you and I, or you and somebody, continuing to have these conversations where you're describing in as much detail as you can, one at a time, what your coach looks like. What a coach looks like is this. There's somebody that does this, and they show up for this, and they want this, or they might want this, but this is a coach. And in 2 minutes, you describe what a coach is, and then you say, and then what we're willing to offer to coaches is we're willing to offer training, and we're willing to offer referrals, and we're willing to offer this, and we're willing to offer this. So if you know anybody that knows anybody that could be a coach, or might want a coach, or has somebody that could be a coach, we are willing to offer you, $100 for anybody that goes through our entire coaching program. And that's the incentive to you, and here's the incentive to them, and you're doing that over and over and over again for everything that you want in your entire tree, because then you're leaving breadcrumbs for anybody to follow to give you what you want. You're now opening channels for all of those different things across your whole universe to allow each one of them to come to you through their own channel. You see that? With very specific communication that's meant for them. And that's the challenge, is you sometimes are trying to communicate to everybody all at once, right? But as you're suggesting, the person that's at the end of this node doesn't give a crap about all the other stuff. They just want to hear what they care about. And somehow you or somebody in your realm needs to be creating communication specifically for them. Right. But again, when you have a whole realm of coaches, or you have a whole realm of this, or you have a whole realm of this, it's not you on your own. You work on ways to source it from that, that group of people or whatever it is. And so again, what I'm describing to you now, as you can see, is how we're taking, the system that we're building out and how we're doing the tangible, specific things, which again, it all starts in conversation. And that's the beauty of all of this, right? That like, as we speak, we create, we're literally creating the mechanism for that, because as you speak it into existence, what you want and what you're willing to give in order to get that, then we're taking that small video clip, or summarizing it, we're putting it on this page. And now anybody in your network, anybody anywhere can send somebody there. And if you're not getting what you want out of a specific channel, if it's stuck, if you're not getting the proper number of prospects coming through that channel that you think you should, then you've got a couple of different things you can do. You can be more inspiring about it. Maybe that video that I made, really wasn't inspiring people. So let me redo that video. Let me get some graphics. Let me make it more inspiring. Or maybe it's not incentivized enough. I said $100, but really, if it's going to get me some people, I could give $200. So let me put that out there and see if it makes a difference. So again, you're playing with these formulas, and then also maybe I can incentivize it more for the people that are referring. Maybe it's going to get that viral sharing once I say anybody that refers, again. So these are the ways you tweak the knobs on the system.
Yeah.
You fine tune it to get what you want flowing through all of your channels. And this is the starting point. So you're seeing, the starting point, you're seeing where it's going, and you're seeing how this simplistic way of just having your finger on the pulse, or whoever in your business is managing it for you. How many prospects are we getting through this node of the tree? How many prospects are we getting through this node of the tree? What do we need to do to turn up the fire over here? What do we need to change this over here? But it makes it, again, very formulaic, very dashboard driven, very like you're on top of all of that all the time, as much as you want to be. You see all of that?
Yeah, and I have structures in place with my affiliates right now. They do get 10%. If they have a network, they get more. I do a special deal for those types of affiliates. And so I've got 40 affiliates that have signed up to, because I've got that structure in Infusionsoft, which is that platform that I use, which is now called Keep or whatever. But they have all of those structures in place that I can use for that, and I can track everything, and I give referrals. I have referring clients, and I have referral links and all of that. All that's in place. So it's just a matter of incentivizing them in a way that that's been my focus this year, is how can I support the leveraging that I already have to increase, right? So that all of those people feel more connected to what we're doing. They're doing their own thing too. And then my coaches, I've just started a whole nother thing for them, where I can support and uplift them, and have them do, because I do strategy calls, and have them do the strategy calls and then turn it into something, and then they get money for that. Or we do revenue sharing if they sell something that they do that's not EOB, that somehow that brings it in too. So I'm in that process of starting all of it. I've been doing that, and now I'm just kind of focusing in how can I work less.
I totally get it. And I totally appreciate that. And I want you to work less. And that's why we're systematizing all of this. And like you said, you've been pulling down the same energy that I have around all of this. You've already been structuring all that. You've already been doing all of that. You've already got all of that in place. So conceptually, you get it all. It's just not cranking out the results that, that you and everyone else would like. We're just existing in a paradigm where you're not the only one that has a bunch of people hooked up in Infusionsoft, and you're still not getting the flow that you would like out of that whole process, right? That's like everyone's at a place of, I've got it all, but how do I turn it on? How do I get it, So again, this is the system that gets it cranking, because not only do you go from 40 affiliates, but you go to 400, and then you go to 4,000, and it just keeps growing as your presence out in the world grows, because it's not like such a big deal to be an affiliate for somebody. What it is it's just sending somebody to them, right? And that now all of a sudden the whole world can be sending people to you, right? And you can work with influencers, and you can do, you know, processes with influencers that have, you know, millions of followers, and they can be sending people into the top of your funnel essentially, right? But now that we've got all of this in place, now they're filtering into all of the different places, right? So again, we can really open the spigots when all of this is out there in this structure, because again, influencers, and you're already connected with a lot of influencers, but it's just the concept of influencers can send attention your way that can directly result in a lot of sales, so to speak. And when they're incentivized to do so, and then when they're a part of this process and they understand, they're going to send you theirs and you're going to send them yours, and you know, we're all doing this, that, you know, it makes it, the game we're playing is totally different, right? So I totally appreciate, and that's, you know, congratulations on taking that whole process with Infusionsoft and all of that as far as you could with what our current world looks like. And I know you can take it farther, and I know that you will. I'm not asking you to abandon Infusionsoft and all of those sorts of things. What I'm doing here is showing you the evolution of the next phase beyond Infusionsoft, because this is the phase where everybody's doing it all together in one collective place, right? It's not you have a Infusionsoft and they have Infusionsoft and they, you get what I'm saying? Those are all closed systems where everyone's trying to do it within their closed system network. And this is opening up and integrating everyone's network, which is, you know, the age of Aquarius and the age that we're moving into, and however you want to look at it,
Yeah.
right?
So what about so I'm aware that I have 10 minutes for a mind map, which isn't going to happen, I can tell.
Well, again, what you did, and when you went through all of that, that was the mind mapping process. It's just that now it needs to be processed. We can go ahead and do it live if you want. Really, it's a matter of, again, at some point, because this is going to be, for the moment, the end of our, you know, full service, so to speak. I'm leaving you with this, you know, video and whatever we get out of the mind map here, and then you're getting to decide, you know, again, whether you want to round up some resources internally, self-service like internally, or whether you want to, you know, somehow work with us to do more full service, whatever it's going to look like. This is the process we're going through, people at this stage. And then, you know, you get an idea of where, you know, you can go, we can go. I want to kind of pretend Jared's not in this process, right? Because Jared's not going to be in this process really quickly. So I want you and I to get the most out of it that we can while we're together. And I want us to continue in a continuously elevating and escalating process where I am a part of working with you, but that's going to require, you know, higher level exchange, whether it's whatever it's going to look like. We've got to start, you know, you've got to bring more.
So I would love to have what you did for that guy, you know?
Yeah, like I said, right now, like the standing offer is $1,000 for that. That's a limited time because I'm not going to be able to keep doing that beyond like another week or something like that. But I have a couple of slots in the next week that allows me to do that for you, and it allows me to create the next level. And I think what we could do, you know, if you're interested, is like literally say that your $1,000 is helping to create this like referral system like we're talking about. It's almost like a wall of honor, this building built by Burge, you know, type of thing, but on a really like smaller scale, like this piece of technology supported by Uniting or by Essence of Being. So the piece of technology that we need, you know, built right now, as I said, is this referral system where if I can just spend a few days on it, then I can get it done. So, I mean, this video is essentially like the sponsorship, right? If you say, yes, if Jared, if you will do this page for me, like you did for Electric Token, and I get to sponsor the creation of this, you know, this portion of the video of the website production, yes, let's do it. So that's the offer to you basically is, yes, I'd be happy to create that page for you and have you be a sponsor. You know, if you want to do that, of course, I would love that. That would be awesome.
So this guy that you did the token, Electric Token, I mean, was he part of the council or?
No, that's the thing is he
paid you $1,000 to do that?
The deal was so I offered it to him for $1,000, and he said he kind of and this was about actually 2 months ago, and he countered with $500, and we talked about the fact that I would be willing to do it for $500 if after it was done and he saw the value that he would, provide more. And he said, of course, if the value is there, I'm going to want more. So now, I'm pitching him on a much higher level contract now, like a 3,000 or 5,000 or 10. So we're in the middle of that conversation right now.
Okay. And I know you did a mind map and you did a lot of them. Are those for people that were part of the council? Did they pay you to do that, or was that part of the council thing?
Yeah, that was just like this. That was me giving it to council members in exchange for what they've already done in the council. So select council members that have been jumping on board have been getting this. And again, you are going to be one of the last council members that gets one of these automatically, probably because it's too costly, for me to do this with everybody.
I haven't given you everything for you to make a mind map.
I know you haven't given me everything for sure. Yeah. So again, if you want to do this, create this page and make this commitment, this $1,000 commitment, then if you want, we can schedule another, half hour or 45 minutes to go back into the mind map. Now you've even got time to lay some things out, do some homework, come, even more prepared, and we can spend, half hour, 45 minutes fully focused and getting as far. Really where we want to get to with this is what it's going to look like, as you've seen, is it's going to look like this page with electric token. And we want to get to as many of these as possible. We want to have as many different, entities that you're defining and what you're offering them and what you're offering as referrals for them. This is kind of the end game of the process, right? Because the more you're doing this, then the more channels you're opening to get referrals from that. So where we got to with him was we got for the production support. So he's got some specifics around that. And then he also did it for capital providers. So for capital providers, we're looking for this. Here's what we're offering to capital providers. Here's what we can offer as a referral for people that can provide capital to us. So again, it's just all the different types of things that you're seeking. So with that in mind, again, if you want to spend a little time, in your meditation, mapping it out, say, here's all the different top priority needs that I could filled in my world right now, so let's find where they are on the mind map and let's, put some stuff around them, some content around them to describe exactly who I'm looking for, what it is that I'm seeking in this realm. We'll have that video content that'll make up the content in that section on the webpage, and that'll be the more of that page that we can build out for you. The way
I was hoping that's what we were going to do today.
We've been getting there, as you've seen. We've been getting there as much as we can. I mean, I don't know how we could have pushed it forward in our conversation, because it seems like we've had to keep answering questions and keep catching up. Again, if you had been able to review all of the video and all of the stuff that I sent you before, we would have been there at the beginning of this meeting today, right? So we had to accommodate for catching you up a bit to be able to be functional in this space.
Okay.
Don't you agree? Don't you agree that you've needed, I mean, maybe not every minute, but haven't we spent important time answering all your questions for you to have an understanding of how all of this works?
Sure.
Okay. So I just want to have you feel satisfied that we've used the time as productively as we can for where we're at to be able to create the result that you want.
So having Kat on, what was the value? What was she going to bring for this whole call? I wasn't clear on that.
So Kat potentially could be like your number one contact with Uniting for Action going forward, right? She could be essentially like your concierge, the whole breadth of services, the explanation of what's available, the holding your hand through this process like I've been. Because, again, for you and I to do it, Uniting, or Essence of Being is going to have to take a much more involved role, right? You're going to have to want to be, and that's what we want to create, is we want to figure out ways to engage your whole membership, engage your whole network, because that's the vast value that you can bring to Uniting for Action. And once we start tapping into that value, then of course, I'll be more and more and more present, because it'll be more and more and more worth my time and energy, right? So, but Kat at the moment is, somebody that I could foresee being your, agent, so to speak, for Uniting for Action and
Okay, cool.
supporting
Now,
you.
just curious. Okay. And how did Nancy do?
Yeah, so Nancy and I had a great conversation, as you know, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. I think there was one aspect of our conversation was that I actually began the conversation thinking that it was the Women's Prosperity Network that we were mostly, that I was focusing on. I didn't realize that she had her book and her whole world that actually would have been the better, future for me to be speaking into existence when I was talking with her. So it wasn't as efficient a conversation as it could be, but she got a lot of the big concepts. And I sent her some information afterwards. The last communication we had was at the end of last week, because I talked about setting up a meeting this week to continue, but she said she hadn't reviewed the information yet. And so I told her that I would repackage some of the information in the new stuff, because she hasn't seen the new stuff, and get it to her and see, where she's at with everything. But yeah, I think that she'll be, I think that she'll really appreciate being a big part of this. Yeah. So thank you for that connection. I guess this is the first time we've actually talked since then. So I really appreciate you making the connection with Nancy and with others, because it is going to be huge. Now you see how this, you're going to bring in so many connections. You're going to blow this up so much. So I want to make sure that we're taking care of you and doing all that we need to do to support you, to have you, be able to use everything and blossom and be leading this into the world, right? That's the idea of you being on the leadership council, is that you're taking the leadership role amongst all of these leaders and say, here, everyone see, look at what we can do together. Yes, okay. Let's do it.
All right. So from now on, from this point, then, as far as what you're going to do is do what you can from this video, which is very limited as far as what I wanted to get into, as far as the specifics and drilling it down to incentivizing referrals and analysts and facilitators and all that stuff that you had set up. I'm not sure what to expect next.
You're not sure what to expect next. So, okay, well, are you saying, well, there's two.
I don't think you can do a mind map about what I just said. I don't think you can do what you have done for others in what I just said, because I haven't even gotten to, or maybe you can, I don't know. I didn't list everything.
No, it was only in that one portion. When you started rattling off things and you said, I have this and this and this, and then
and that wasn't all of it,
No,
but
I know it wasn't all of it. I know that was just a very small part. No, I know I can only mind map that portion. Okay. I don't have everything else. That's why I said, I think that we would need another half hour or 45 minutes now that you can, if you want, spend some time mapping it out in advance, thinking it through in advance. Then I would say 45, half hour to 45 minutes would give us the time to get a complete map and get down to a lot of the specifics of the, the things you're seeking and the incentives that you're offering.
Now, is that something that you'll offer me, or do I need to pay $1,000 for you to finish that?
I will offer you that 30 to 45 minute session as part of our current exchange. I won't charge you for that, but that's where from this point, and this is where we kind of distinguish it, you'll have the video and you'll have the mind map, and then you'll be able to go from there. To take it to the build out of the pages and all of that is what the $1,000 in this case.
I gotcha. Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. I appreciate that, Jared.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you want to leave it? Do you want to schedule the next session for?
Yes, because I am traveling again. I'm teaching Essence of Being in Texas next weekend.
Nice.
And then I'm coming to Fort Lauderdale to marry 2 of my graduates.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Next weekend. Yeah, I marry a lot of graduates. So that's very
So should we have a coffee or a tea while you're here?
We could.
That would be amazing. I think that would be appropriate, right? With what we're doing, I think we could take it to another level with actually seeing each other, hugging each other, right?
Yeah, totally. I'll be, so as far as the 30 minutes or whatever, let's see. Yeah. It might have to be in person. Or because here's the thing, for 30, so let me see, hold on. I could do it, no, yeah. Let's see. March 1st is a Tuesday. I could do 30 minutes on March 1st.
Let me see. Let me pause the recording. Okay, cool. Okay, so as I was saying, do you have an idea of whether you're going to want to have me process what we're doing?
You mean put it in pages like you
Put
did
it in
for the other
pages,
guy?
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Let me see the mind map first and then we'll go from there.
Sure, sure, sounds good. Perfect. Awesome. Well, I'm really excited. I really appreciate, the where you've been in this journey from the beginning, and I really appreciate, just getting to share it with you and just getting to see your mind and your eyes light up, with all these different concepts coming into reality, and you being really well positioned to be right at the center of this emerging universe. So, and I appreciate, the role that you're going to be playing in helping people with consciousness and abundance and relationships and being and everything. So yes, thank you, Burge. So great to be with you.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Jared. Love you.
Yay. I love
Love
you.
you. Okay.
All right. See you
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye.